wrenching shirt on today, folks, which means we're gonna do some wrenching. For you inquisitive folks out there with the sharp eye, the yearly trip down to Table Rock, we did not take the bass tracker. We took Caleb's boat, which shout out to Caleb, for a very good reason, which is the subject of today's video, which is this. So I don't know if I filled you guys in last year, maybe it's somewhere in an episode, I don't remember, but we repowered the boat last year. So we've made a new purchase. I bought this guy. Kind of sight on scene, 40 horsepower force. They say it runs. I haven't heard it run though. So we're gonna have fun dealing with this. She did find some rocks at some point, so that's nice. I'm not entirely sure how I want to tackle this job. That's the wrong way. Oh, we're just spinning the actual. Come on down, number 9. Oh my gosh, this one just is heavy. Whoa, I'm waiting. It's on, it's on. There's no way I was gonna be able to mount this up by myself. So my dad came out here and he helped me get this on. We had to back the truck up, a whole big process. It's my pops and my mother, she also came out here and was helping us a little bit too. So yeah, basically we got the outboard mounted up, very loosely hanging on the back here. The bolt pattern is the same. Basically we just have to find the right height to where we're not going to cavitate water, but we're not going to create too much drag from the lower unit. This thing really cleaned up the look of the bass tracker. So these stripes are going to have to go. This thing is so much more built better. So tomorrow morning I have the special guest coming to town, and it's the only day that they can fish on the channel, which means that we not only have to mount this and wire it up and get it all plumbed in, but we also have to get this thing fired up, of which I have no idea if it runs or not. We got a lot to do. Let's get cracking. Yep. That is now grounded for sure. Very good. He showed me in his boat that this was originally mounted to from the factory. The ignition was like flush with the dash, and he basically is using it for his new 60 horse for tubing. We don't have a ignition switch, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to end up crossing wires to get the starter to start and crank and have. I believe this is going to be your tilt and trim. Or is this kill switch? This has to be kill switch. That's got to be your running, right? This has to be tilt and trim, which is what I need right now. New throttle system here. It looks a lot cleaner than the old one. It should be hooked up to everything, so if we hit the tilt and trim going up, works great. So now we can set the height of the outboard. What were we doing? Oh, we were going to mount up the... Currently we have the outboard hanging in the first hole. Measuring the splash plate, the bottom of the transom, the distance between, and the angle at which they are. The angle will depend on your transom's angle. Flush or 1 inch above your transom, because as your boat moves on plane, I mean, it's going to vary with speed, but the general rule of thumb is every foot you go, the water that you're displacing underneath your boat is going to rise 1 inch when you're on plane. What this is trying to do is this is trying to maximize performance out of the outboard, so there's not too much hanging in the water, creating too much drag, slowing you down, then the prop is going to want to grab air and cavitate. So this is basically just trying to make it so we can get the most top end and most fuel efficiency out of the outboard. Its current configuration, we would have too much drag down here, and we would be losing not only top end speed, but we would also be losing fuel efficiency. So last night we got the outboard mounted, pinch, and you only have a couple hours to get something to seal. This is the stuff to get. Some lower unit oil. Also picked up a couple switches so we can actually run the outboard today and we can see what she's got. Basically what this is we're basically going to hotwire the outboard. We're going to have a tack today. We're probably not going to have an overheat buzzer. We're just going to be checking it with our hands. I don't really care. All it's got to do is work. It's work. I now have a tangled mess of wires of switches and whatnot. So basically here's our on-off switch. Once we hit this, we now have power running to our ignition circuit. So I've rigged up my 12 volt starter to this. So once I hit this push button, the starter should engage. Gonna test this. Now we should have electronic choke. Okay, so next steps next. The water hose primer up with some fuel, and I'm gonna see if this thing wants to spit and sputter and form it. She wanted to. She's drowning in fuel. We flooded her. Here again. She runs pretty great, even on one lung. I had basically what happened there is I didn't wire in a kill switch, which is my bad. So basically, how a starter switch works, that does is that's basically going to interrupt your spark, and that's how you're going to get it to stop. Which is how I got it to stop, because I had a runaway motor and I had no way to stop it. I could have done two things there. One, I could have pulled the plug, which is what I did. So basically you don't have spark, so you can't ignite any of the mixture. Number two, I could have unplugged the fuel and it would have kept running, but it would have eventually ran out of fuel and it sucked the rest out of the bowls. So the last thing I could have done is I also could have plugged the intake here, and I just could have basically choked it out, which is actually probably what I should have done, because I probably had more things around me to do that. But we got it stopped, so that's good. But yeah, this thing fires up and runs amazing. It looked like it shifted into gear, so we're gonna have to hook up throttle cables. That's gonna be our next. I should probably say this video is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not responsible for anybody trying to replicate what I'm doing here. All finished up, and my buddy is running late, which is actually working on our favor today. So we're now on the water, and we are going to just start on the maiden voyage test. We have Josh, and we also have Julian here. See what we can do. So we got everything all carefully wired up here. I just noticed I had the starter switch fall off, so that's lovely. Starting outboard. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, it's in gear. Okay. You ready?
Is the kill switch on?
Yeah. Yeah, the kill switch was on. The kill switch is on. Ready?
Score one for Josh.
This outboard ran great last year. Winterized it, put it away. Everything was just fine. When we went to go fire it up this year, however, we had some pretty big issues. Namely this and this, which led to this the day and the night before we left for the trip. We launched the boat on the river 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. By like 7 a.m. the day we were leaving, we had to call it quits. Basically what's going on is somewhere we have water getting into cylinders, which is about as good as that sounds. The power head off, I went all the way down, and basically the gaskets are pretty much shot on this power head, which, not the end of the world. I actually managed to find an OEM Mercury set for this outboard, because Mercury's making parts for these. US Boatworks. These are the guys to go with. They are straight out of Kansas City, Missouri, and they can have parts shipped really quick, really reasonable. They have a lot of stuff that's really hard to find. Before we can do anything with new parts, we got to get the old parts out. So, some tools out. Without further ado, let's tear this thing apart. Oh, wow. Yeah, yep, that's water. Oh, wait, no. What are you going to tell me? You going to tell me the same story? Are you going to be consistent? Yep. Get rid of the starter. Let's get rid of this. What else do I want to get rid of? Oh. Oh no. She's clean? Terribly sorry, but we got it off. It's off. It's right here. Actually, I'm gonna get it set on something better. But so, a few days later, and we have the power head off. The power head, I got it pretty much cleaned up with the free time I've had this week. And before I slap it all together, I thought I'd grab the cylinder heads here. Thought I'd do one of these tests. You're definitely not gonna be able to see it. There's a decent gap. Well, I gotta check stuff out with a feeler gauge yet. The seals I bought for the Outboard, all new seals for the entire power head. My thought process is, as long as I have it on hand this far down to the Outboard, maybe I should just go the extra mile, split the crankcase, and just double check, because I don't know how long water's been sitting. Because if you're gonna do it, might as well do it right, because I plan on using this Outboard for a while. But I will say though, looking at this, I think it does look sick looking like this here. I found out you can also kind of hot rod these, try to squeeze out some power out of. Just a interesting note I thought I found online. Let's get this flywheel nut off. Okay, camera died, but we got it off. It's now May 8th, 2024. We're out here at Sleepy Eye Lake. We got the bass tracker here. Done a lot of stuff off camera. I get into the routine of, I just want to get this done, and filming and whatnot really slows a guy down. Number one, I just wrapped up with another semester at college. But number two, we completely went through and we pretty much rebuilt the power head, the whole thing apart. And I went through it all, pistons, rings, everything. Everything looked really good on the inside. Almost steam cleaned, if I was going to be honest, which again would make sense. But there was like no carbon deposits on hardly anything in this engine, and it was in great shape. I mean, the cylinder walls look fantastic. The piston shows pretty much absolutely no signs of wear and tear. Every gasket that I went through needed to be changed or replaced. And I was running this the other night, and it sounds different. Sounds a lot worse. So I'm thinking I didn't quite get the crankcase sealed. These two halves are just sealed with RTV on this Outboard, so it's very possible that something went wrong. It was too cold when it set. Who knows what it could have been or where it's leaking from, but it's got a little bit of a lumpy idle, as you'll hear here. But it starts beautifully and it does run. So today the plan is we're going to launch the boat and we're going to just kind of see how it does, if it even gets up on plane with this lumpy idle. Maybe hopefully that'll give us some clues as to where this air leak could be coming from, or we'll just see how it runs. All right, well, boat still floats, so that's got to count for something. How's this looking? Okay, so, oh my gosh, I just broke my seat. Let's see what she wants to tell us today. Firing. Running a little fast. Let's see what she tells us. Oh, I should have brought a GoPro. She's running, but she's got that lump to her, if you can hear it. I'd hate to rip it apart again, but I'm gonna have to fix See if it's not like air trapped in a pump somewhere, or if it's not like a timing thing or something weird like that. But oh, she's still got issues. So we're definitely gonna need to fix her. Sucks, but you can still troll with her, I guess. So the project goes on. What are you gonna do? Yes. What can you do? It is now June 17th, 2024, the same day this video is going up, and the boat is still sitting here needing to be fixed. Now, since I filmed the last video, we actually went ahead and we ripped apart the entire outboard again. Not fun. Tried to seal it up, put it back together, still runs, not great. Which has been a real problem. But to make my life easier, throughout the use of this project, one product that has come in very handy has been Super Clean. Now you guys have seen Super Clean on the channel in the past. Super Clean, if you don't know, is a very, very tough industrial degreaser that's available at most major retailers out there. We've used it in past videos, fixing boat trailers, doing other projects with boats in the past. If you need a tough degreaser, this is the stuff to get. Super Clean actually came in very handy. So this is some of their original formulation Super Clean product here. This is in a concentrated bottle. And they also sent me over some aerosol stuff for easy application and whatnot. Just spray it on, let it do its magic, wipe it off, rinse it off with cold water. Works extremely well. So I would say if you guys have a project where you're looking for a product that can cut through grease, grime, and grit, no questions asked, check out Super Clean. Give them a try. They're available at most major retailers, Menards, Walmart, Ace Hardware. If not, you can also find their products at their website in the link below this video. A huge shout out again to Super Clean for sending over their products to help with this project. So I think with all that being said, today's mission was to fix this outboard, which we didn't quite do, but we got a good running start on it, as well as showing you guys last year how I mounted this up to the boat, as well as giving us some clues and hints as to how we can fix this in the next video. I'm sorry this video went on so long. I have so many projects going on right now this summer that just need my attention all at once. And unfortunately, this was just something that had to take the back burner for a little while. Look out for part 2 of this video, where in the near future we're going to rip this apart, and we're hopefully going to be able to fix it so we can actually get out and we can make some videos this summer on the water. So with that being said, we got a long ways to go, but we covered a lot in today's video, and I think with confidence we can say that that would be a mission complete. Boom.